Aspen Wolfie here. And yes, so I'm gonna be putting in the comment section for like my next, probably a lot of videos, but I need a new video editor, because right now I am using that like Movavi thing, and it is terrible. I need a new editor. Please give me options and I'll check them out, and maybe I'll get a good editor and my videos will be enjoyable to watch. Yay! Okay, but so my life right now, I'm just gonna do a quick little update. So you can hear rain in the background. It has been pouring all day. It's like freaking tsunami decided to break loose. It's like, okay. But yeah, it has been pouring all day, so I've been cooped up inside all day, and my mom and my grandmother just left to go to this Christmas party thing, and I was like, you know what? I'll make a video. Yay. And real quick, because I don't know how long the main part of this video will actually be, like, a stupid little fight me and my mom got in. You could probably actually skip this part, probably just skip like 30 seconds into the future, and this will probably be over. So if you don't want to like listen to this, watch this, whatever. So of course, like my mom wants me to go to this Christmas play with her tonight, and of course, you know, I'm like, how long is it? You know, like I just asked how long it was, because like I didn't want it to be like 3 hours long and me just freaking sitting in a chair playing on my phone, like, is it over yet, please? You know, because I don't like plays. I know lots of people enjoy plays. I'm not saying plays aren't enjoyable. Me personally do not enjoy it. Me personally do it. Okay. Yeah. So, of course, she's like, you know, if you can play video games with your dad for hours, you can go to a play with me. And it's like, those are completely freaking different. Playing video games, you're interactive, you're having fun, you can freaking talk. You know, it's like, yeah. But like, going to a play, you're sitting in a chair, most likely an uncomfortable chair, especially for where I live and all the things around here. Everything is very low budget and not good, so it'll probably be a very uncomfortable chair I'm sitting in for an hour. You can't talk, so there's no interaction, it's not fun to me, and you know, it's like, those are like completely on separate ends of the spectrum of like fun and not fun. Like, ooh, it's like you can't freaking say like playing video games is the exact same as watching a play, because it is not. So yeah. Okay, now into the main part of this video, which is about my experience at the Teen Maze. And if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much this thing. I don't know if you could go without school, but I know like mainly schools will take you. But it's like this pretty much pathway thing. Like you get this like a wristband, and it tells you where you're going, and then you get your first little thing, and it tells you what you do, and then like the effects of doing that, and then you go and deal with the effects and just keep going. You know, just this entire pathway of life, like what bad decisions can do. Like there are like no good decisions in this thing. Yay. So, of course, when I got there, I think I was a red wristband, if I'm not mistaken. And I got a pathway that I got into a wreck because I was driving under the influence of alcohol. And so, of course, if I call it a DUI after this, just in case you don't know what that means, it just means driving under influence. So, yeah. And they had us, like, put on these, like, drunk goggles. You don't know what they are. They just kind of distort your vision to kind of match the effect of alcohol and how many drinks you would have had. And then they had us drive a go-kart not go-kart, golf cart. Just, whoa! Okay, but, I actually didn't get to do that because this year, they didn't have it timed out very well, so I didn't really get to do anything. Yay. You know, last year, I didn't go last year, but my mom actually volunteered for it because if you're a nurse or a nursing student, you can volunteer for it and stuff. She volunteered for it, and it was all like planned out and mapped out, and everybody got to do everything. It was really organized last year. This year, freaking chaos. So I didn't get to drive the golf cart or wear those goggles. Luckily, I do know what the goggles are like because 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. I was in this thing called CHAMPS. I can't remember what it stands for, and I'm not going to research it. So if you want to research it, go look it up. But it's pretty much just like a drugs and alcohol and safety education thing. And they actually let us wear those goggles, and like we had to walk in a straight line and stuff. You know, so I actually know what the goggles are like, and I know what driving a golf cart is like. So I wasn't super disappointed. Still kind of disappointed because, you know, I wanted to try wearing the goggles and driving the golf cart at the same time, but I didn't. Yay! Still salty. But yeah. And then after that, of course, since I got in a wreck, I had to go to the emergency room. And emergency room was like really dumb. Like last year they put you on like a gurney and stuff and actually like pretended to examine you and stuff. But this year you just sat in a chair in like a waiting room type thing. And then they came in and you gave them your card that like said what you did on it. And then they like told you what happened. It's like, I freaking know what happens when you get in a wreck under a DUI. What are you talking about? Like, I know what happens. I want the experience of you freaking examining me. So, of course, they just tell me what happens, and I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I knew this. Thanks. And then, I have to go to court. And I go there, and it is, like, really stupid, too, you know, like, you just sat there and gave them your card, and they said, you have to go to juvie. And then you went and sat in chairs, and people were really mean to you. Like, I get they were trying to reenact what juvie is actually like, but, you know, like, they, like, yelled at you, and, like, if you freaking looked at someone else, they would scream at you. Like, you could hear it through the entire freaking building we were in. It was like, oh my god. And, of course, they then threw, like, shredded paper on the ground and made us get on our hands and knees and go like this and freaking pick it up. It's like, okay, I get that you're trying to, like, simulate what juvie is like in probation and stuff, but this is excessive. Okay. But, yeah, and then after that, I went and I got loose. I freed myself. I got freed. And I went over to this other pathway. It was kind of leading off of this, you know, into like a new life. And I ended up going on birth control. It didn't work, by the way. And I got on birth control. And they just taught you about all of that stuff. And, you know, it was so boring. I don't even remember it now. And this happened, like, what, like, a month ago? It's like, and I can't even remember a word of what they said about all these different types of birth control and crap. Like, the only reason I know about birth control is because I watch YouTube all day and I get ads for it. Yay! And so, of course, I get on that and everything, and then I end up getting a boyfriend and getting pregnant, which I was just there like, sorry, this doesn't apply to me. I'm freaking gay! Wow! So, yeah. And but I still had to go through with it. And so they just put like this it was this like apron. Have you ever seen like aprons for like cooking and stuff? And then they like folded it up and sewed it together and just put like a rice sack in it. and I had to like wear that around for like 5 minutes, so it's like that's not simulating pregnancy at all what you're doing. And then they just talked to me about stuff, and my boyfriend left me, said he didn't want the freaking child, and left me, and I was like, great, goodbye. And then my freaking parents disowned me. They're like, you're like 16 and you're pregnant. Get the flip out of here. Bye, Felicia. So yeah. And I then just went through all of that, and I ended up failing school because of it, because I had to get a job because my parents kicked me out and my boyfriend didn't want to help with financial support. So I ended up having to get a job. I failed school. I got fired. Yeah, this child's going up for adoption. I'm sorry. And, yeah, and then, they gave you this, like, baby doll that you had to carry around. And like I said, it was very unorganized this year. So instead of, like, carrying the baby doll around, like, the entire rest of the time, I carried it around for, like, 2 minutes. Like, maybe not even 2 minutes. You know, it was just so unorganized. I got the child. They were like, this is your child. And I was like, okay, great. And, I carried it around. Like, I was like, great, okay. I walked out of the place they give you your freaking child at after you give birth. And I walked out of there going to my next pathway. And then they were like, okay, everybody from blah de blah high school, you're going to graduation. And I'm like, great. So I returned my baby. I go to graduation. They are so unorganized at graduation. Like, God, I don't get freaking anything done. I eventually graduate. I get some cookies. And I get on a bus and I go back to my school. So, yeah. I have no clue how long this video is. Okay. Now that was my experience. Now I'm going to explain Peanut's experience, because she actually gave me the idea to do this video, because I asked in my Discord server for video ideas. She's the only one who gave me video ideas. So shout out to you, Peanut. Nobody knows who you are, but shout out to you. Okay. So, yeah, and her experience, I can't remember what color band she got. I think it was blue. Might have been green. I have no clue. And so she went out, and her very first pathway is she died. Yeah, she didn't even live for like 2 minutes. She died. She just died. Like, I can't, like, put X's over my eyes, but pretend there's X's over my eyes. So, yeah, she died right off the bat. And then, went through all of that, and then I really should have refurbished with her what happened on her experience, because I can only remember some of it. Yay. Okay. So I'm going to tell you the little bit that I remember. So, of course, she died and got brought back to life. And she had to walk around with like a death certificate the rest of the time. And, of course, then next time I ran into her was actually at the place where you're pregnant, and she was also pregnant. I can't remember if like her boyfriend husband thing that got her pregnant left her or not. Yeah, this is gonna be a really bad explanation of what happened. And so we go through all the things together, and then when she's giving birth, she and her baby die. It's like, well, that's twice you've died. I cannot, but okay, there we go. That's twice. Okay. Oh, it's so hard to move my fingers. Okay. And she has to go back to the funeral home and get another death certificate and stuff. And then she's like, then they call us to graduation. She still graduates. She died twice and freaking graduated. Wow. And the funny thing is, Television, as I've called her in the past, did not graduate, and she did the same thing as me up until after juvie, and then she said no to peer pressure, and she learned about birth control, and that was it. And then she went to graduation. It's like she had the best freaking pathway, and she didn't graduate. It's like Peanut died twice, graduated. I freaking failed school and am homeless. I graduated. Oh, I love it. Okay. So, yeah, that was my experience and some of Peanut's experience I can remember, and Television's experience at that teen maze. I just wish it was a little more organized, you know how it is, you know. A little bit more organized, that would have been great. But overall, it was still pretty fun. So, I guess this is goodbye!